Hi and welcome to FPL Natty. I am so glad that you have joined me on my channel today. In this video, I'm going to talk about my team selection for game week number 13. So as we know, game week number 12 was a midweek time that we had, and City and Arsenal blanked during that game week. So it was a low scoring game week, to be honest, without those two big hitters. But they are back, and it is now game week number 13, and there are some great attacking fixtures that I think you should take advantage of, and I'll be taking advantage of them, particularly from now up until game week 16 when the World Cup hits. So that is 4 opportunities for me to really rise in my mini league before we have that kind of break for the World Cup where we have unlimited transfers and stuff like that. We can talk about that at a bit of a later stage, but in the meantime, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you're seeing my face for the very first time, subscribe. It's right down below. As you can see, there's 20 of us right now. Maybe there's more by the time I put this out, but hopefully you can be the 21st, the 20th, or the 22nd whenever you join, and let's try and get to at least maybe 30 before the World Cup, maybe before the Christmas. We can get to 50, maybe 100 before the season's done. Like, this is the journey that I want to take on with you guys. So subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, and it will be great. I'll really appreciate it. And obviously, we know how the YouTube algorithm works already. It will pump it out to more people as well if you give it a thumbs up. So let's get into this video, and you can see what team I'm selecting for game week number 13. But before I do that, actually, let's talk about what points I got for game week number 12. So I brought in Billing for Maddison. As we know, Maddison was suspended for that game for picking up a stupid yellow card. And so on my bench, it meant I had just Raya and Nico Williams available for the for game week number 12. And this is how I did. Yay! I got a green arrow. Look below. Look below. Look. I got 48 points. My game week rank was 3 million. Don't worry about that. My overall points now is up. I'm now 643 points is what I've got. My overall rank is up 1.8 million. So 1,897,005. I'm up 11.61%. And that is, I think, 250,000 places I'm up. But I'm a little bit far off of the top 10k. I am 105 points off of the top 10k. So I'm hoping that somehow between now and Christmas I can really close that gap. If I can get it to like 50 by like Christmas, and then maybe like by March get it to like 20, then I'll be like super happy about that. So if we're going over some of these points, let's start with Ward. I think he done amazing for me. As I started left Raya on my bench for that game actually. So Ward at the moment is averaging 6 points per match, and it was Leicester's 3rd consecutive home clean sheet. I was actually really worried when I dropped Raya for Ward, particularly when Raya got 10 points, but actually turned out not to be too bad because Ward got 9 points, so it was alright. Another player that done really well was Trippier. He took maximum bonus points, and he's now 1st in the FPL defenders points table. He got a clean sheet and an assist, and that was against Everton. That was good. Let's not talk about Mark Gui. It was annoying. Once that Wolves goal went in, then yeah, Mark basically never gets any returns. So yeah, once they scored, that was game over for that. Webster, that was a bit of a surprise, but he got me a clean sheet. I think it was 0-0 against Forest, if I can recall correctly. So yeah, I know a lot of people bought Trossard in for that game. Yeah, a lot of people bought Trossard in for that game. He blanked, but if you had Webster, he got me 6 points. If you had Dunk, I think he may have got 8 or 9, something like that. I think he got the bonus points for that game. Then I brought in Billing, as I said. Bit of a pointless move with that one because he blanked as well. That was a loss versus Southampton. I think it was a 1-0. Southampton held on for that. Southampton held on for that win. Great for the manager who's under fire at his job at the moment. But in terms of Billing, he's not really staying in my squad because it's just too much of a risk, and I really want to put those points to better use. Zaha, he actually came through for me. He scored his 5th goal of the season, and he got 8 points, which was great. That was their 2-1 win over Wolves Obviously, the goal is what messed up for my defender in defence. On to Pereira, he didn't produce an attacking return for me, but he was actually very, very lively. He almost scored twice in the first half, but sometimes it just goes like that in FPL. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. But the good thing about Fulham is that they're now up to 9th place, so I think they're looking really, really good. Mitrovic, after his injury scare, is now back in the team. They've got Reed, who's doing really well. But yeah, just in terms of Pereira, he didn't really do it for me this week, but I'm keeping him in. He's so cheap, 4.6 million. So it just makes sense. One who surprised me was Mason Mount. He came off at 57 minutes and he was my captain. Only got me 3 points, which made me a little bit worried about the future for him. Is this a sign of things to come for Mason Mount? Is this going to be a thing that Graham Potter will be doing in future by managing his minutes, because they've got so many midfielders, and obviously with the World Cup coming, Graham Potter's English, so he's going to want England to do well. I don't know, maybe that's playing on his mind and he doesn't want to burn out Mount before the World Cup comes. Also, Jared Bowen, man, what can I say? When the penalty came, I was like, yes, I'm excited. Jared Bowen's a differential, and I was really expecting him to score. And what did he do? He missed a penalty. That's a -2. He didn't do nothing else in the game. I think Liverpool won. Was it just 1-0? So, yeah, he got me 0 points. No points for that one. So we will see about Jared Bowen. I might keep him in for maybe 1 or 2 more game weeks, and we'll just go from there. Callan Wilson, he blanked against Everton. I'm undecided about keeping him, to be honest. He's got Tottenham next, and after that, Aston Villa and Southampton. So it's a tricky one. If he blanks again, actually no, because it's against Tottenham. If he blanks in the next, you know what? I actually don't know what I'm going to do about Callan Wilson, but there are better forwards, I think. But Callan Wilson, when he's fit, is actually really, really good. I could go for Tony, could go for Mitrovic, could go for Gabriel Jesus, but both Tony and Gabriel Jesus do have yellow card issues. So if they get one more yellow card, then they're suspended for the next game. Kind of what happened with Maddison. So it's kind of a tricky one about what I'm going to do about that one. When it comes to Harry Kane, what did he get me? He got me 2 points. So I know loads of you captained Harry Kane, but against Man United, they just didn't have anything going forwards. I know that Conte was looking for the counter attack, and that just didn't happen, to be honest. So I don't really know how he's gonna, what formation he's gonna do going forwards, because he's got no Kulusevski and no Richarlison. They're both injured at the moment. So it's a bit worrying for Spurs. But Kane usually does produce returns, and he's been amazing. So I might hold on to him just a little bit longer. So let's have a look at my team for game week number 13. So we're going to start with David Raya. He is now back in my squad, and he has had more stops than any other goalkeeper this season. He has had 12 saves, literally just across the last 2 game weeks alone, and he has got bonus points in both of those matches. So I think he is fantastic. And should I have not dropped him last week? Well, possibly not, because, Ward did get 1 less point than him. But he's back in my squad. Brentford have Aston Villa, but to be honest, they've just lost our manager. They don't know how to score goals. So it just makes sense to bring Raya back in the squad, because Brentford are a decent side. And after Aston Villa, Raya has got Wolves and Nottingham Forest. So it's a great chance for him to really take the FPL goalkeeper points table by storm. So it makes sense that I've got him in my squad, and he's back there with the number 1 jersey. Alongside him, I've got Trippier. Trippier is also the first name on my team sheet at the minute. Now, Newcastle themselves, they're joint top for clean sheets. They've got 5 so far this season, and they have the fewest goals conceded. Trippier is also very, very good, as we know, up in the final third of the pitch and on set pieces, whether that's corners or free kicks. So it kind of makes sense that he is in my squad. Tottenham are a wounded animal right now. So can Trippier produce some returns and put pressure on Conte? Because obviously Spurs are sitting third. Trippier and Newcastle are looking to push themselves up the league. They're doing very, very well. So yeah, Mark Gui is also in my squad as well. 4.4 million. He is nailed on, and a differential at only 3.7% ownership. And actually, a funny stat that I saw is that he has had 4 shots inside the box this season. So in 12 games, he had 4 shots inside the box. Can he get another shot inside the box against Everton? Everton are not very, very good. And as I said, last game week, I was hoping for a clean sheet, but sometimes it goes like that. And it was against Wolves, who haven't been very, very creative at all. And we're talking about another team in Everton who also they've been okay, but they're still literally bottom half of the table. And I know that when you press from the front like Crystal Palace do, it does take the pressure off of the defence. I'm hoping for a clean sheet against Everton, even though that they are away and they're not necessarily that amazing away. I'll tell you who is good though, but at home, just in general really, is City, and I've got Cancelo. He is now back in my squad. He gets an average of 8.6 points per home game, and City are at home again. They have an excellent home record, and they're playing Brighton. Now Brighton do have a good build-up play, but they do also lack an end product. Manchester City have only conceded 10 goals this season. They have the best defense in the league, and Cancelo himself, he has got 5 clean sheets so far. He is the highest scoring defender in the game with 2 goals and 2 assists. So yeah, he's first, and then just behind him, as I said earlier, was Trippier. So it just makes sense. I had to bring him back in my squad because he's got Brighton at home at the Etihad. It just makes sense, to be honest. This guy also makes sense as well. Wilfried Zaha, he's a talisman, as we know, for Crystal Palace. He's on pens. He's got a decent XG of 0.73. But he's playing Everton away, and Everton have lost their last 3. So I'm hoping for another loss for them. And for me, it's the fixtures as well. That is why Zaha is still in my squad. After Everton, it's Southampton, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest as well. His stats are very, very good. Zaha's stats are very, very good. He's expected to sit at 0.5. But I will be monitoring Eze, his teammate, alongside him. And I might look to make that switch soon, because not only is Eze cheaper, but the points that they're getting is very, very similar. So I might want to save some money on Zaha, and I can move that money to maybe another premium midfielder or defender. Another player that I'm bringing in for this game week is Phil Foden. He is a new addition to my squad. I can't remember who I've taken out. Actually, no, I do remember. It is Billing. Billing has gone. Foden has come in, and it just makes sense, really. He already has 10 attacking returns this season, 6 goals, 4 assists, and that is just in 10 appearances. He is the top scoring midfielder in the game. He starts every game under Pep. He costs 4 million less than Kevin De Bruyne, so it just makes sense to have him in. He's got games against Brighton, Leicester, Fulham, and Brentford in the next 4, and 3 home games in the next 4 as well. And we know how good City are at home, and Foden particularly doesn't blank at all when he is at home. So I'm expecting the same again this weekend against Brighton. Another new member who has come in my squad is Martinelli. Welcome. So it was either a toss-up between him and Saka, but as we know, Saka currently is yellow flagged after the knock he had in the PSV Europa League game. But Martinelli himself, he has scored 4 and assisted 3, and it's just great value. He's 6.7 million, and I had to get him in because of the differential ownership. Really, he's got roughly 47-48% of FPL managers currently own Martinelli. So when he bangs, it just kills my squad. So I'd rather have players like him that are in a lot of other players' teams, so that I can maximize the returns alongside them, but have some differentials as well. And one differential that I have is Jared Bowen. Now, we know that he missed a penalty, as I said before, which was a slight worry because it might knock his confidence, but only 5.4% owned. He does have Bournemouth at home at the West Ham Stadium, so I'm hoping he can kick back with that, with maybe a couple of goals against Bournemouth, who have been okay, but just in general, they lost against Southampton just a couple of days ago. So I'm hoping they get banged again by West Ham, and Bowen is in the action. He's got Samaka, he's got Rice, he's got other players around him that also are creative players, but this is the guy that I want to really show us what he did last season and make sure that Gareth Southgate is looking at him to bring him into the squad. Callan Wilson, okay. Well, I have him because I didn't want to take a -8, but I'm hoping he scores against the Spurs side, who are obviously hurting for what Man United did to them just the other day. And obviously, as I said before, no Kulusevski, no Richarlison as well. He has blanked in his last 2, but Newcastle are looking strong. Hopefully, he can give some assists to Almiron. Almiron can do the same with him. They are missing Saint-Maximin in a way. For the way Callan Wilson plays, he's still in the squad. He's still on pens. He plays 90 minutes. He just needs to start scoring again. And yeah, if he wants to make the England squad as well, he needs to start banging in goals. Harry Kane is in my squad. He was never really going anywhere, even though Tottenham looked a little bit tired against United. 11.5 million he cost me. It happens. Sometimes these things happen. Tottenham lost against Arsenal. They've lost against. I think they lost against Liverpool as well, and they've lost against United. But Harry Kane is still the GOAT. He's scored 9 goals and he has assisted 2, and the ownership is still low. Just over 22% of FPL managers own Harry Kane, and I am one of them. So it doesn't matter that his streak has come to an end, because I know that he's still gonna bang goals for the rest of the season. Okay, he's just behind Haaland in terms of total points. So that's how good this guy is. But most of you are just sleeping on him. I think you've run to Salah, but Salah's not going to do nothing. Anyways, Kane averages about 5 to 6 touches in the box per 90 minutes, and his overall attempts on goal have been 41. So this guy is always looking for the goal. He scored 8 out of 12 big chances. Yes, he does have a tricky game against Newcastle, but as I said, a bounce back is needed after the United game, and they're at home. So it makes sense that they are strong favourites to take points away from Newcastle, and hopefully it's a big score. And Kane does the business. But the person who I brought back in my squad, who all of you should already not have sold, is Erling Haaland. He will most 100% be my captain. Yes, there wasn't a game for City in game week number 12, and he did blank in game week number 11, but he still has 15 goals and 3 assists and has the best expected goals in the league with 10.14. Now, Brighton might be somewhat strong defensively, but City's attack is even stronger than their defense, and he's only failed to score in 1 game. 2 games now, but that's like the first game and this game. But it doesn't matter. 15 goals, 3 assists. Just listen to those stats right there. Yeah, he is well rested, so he's definitely gonna be on it. I wouldn't be worried about anything. Just bring him in. If sold him, bring him back in your squad. Don't be looking at other captains. Look at this guy. This guy is amazing. He's rested. He's rearing to go. It makes sense. This is my subs bench, and we have, who do we have here? We've got Ward, Andreas, Webster, and Nico Williams. The only player that I was looking to bring in was going to be Andreas, and that possibly might have been for Callan Wilson, because I kind of wanted a 5 midfield. I've kept him there as my first substitution, just in case none of the other players play. It was a toss up between Andreas and Wilson, or possibly Andreas. Oh, sorry, my stomach. Andreas. That's it. That was the only move I was going to make. None of the other players was going to play. Webster was not going to be playing against City, and Nico Williams, he was just never getting in my squad, particularly against Liverpool. And Ward was a possibility against the Wolves, but Leicester, you just don't know what Leicester you're going to get. It's going to be a flip of a coin with how they're going to play. So I've got more faith in Brentford not doing something against Villa than I have Ward trying to keep a clean sheet against Wolves. And this is my captain, as I said before. Erling Haaland will be my captain, and my vice captain is on Harry Kane. Yeah, so that is it. That is my complete team. Captain Haaland, vice captain Harry Kane, 3-4-3 formation. I think this team is gonna bang. I took a -4, but I took out Billing, and I took out Mount. I think the minutes risk, that might be an option there under Potter. So let's see. What do you think of this team? Is it going to do good? What points do you think I'm going to get? Write it down below. What points do you think I'm going to get for game week number 13? So that's my team. That is my team for game week number 13. It went with a 3-4-3 formation. I think this team is going to do well. What are your thoughts on that? Is there some players that I should have kept in? Should I have kept Billing in, given one more week? Should I have kept Mount in because maybe he just wants to get rested to play a full game this game week against Man United? I don't know. I just wasn't sure about it. I looked at the fixtures ahead and I just really wanted to bring in Foden. Foden was now my number one target for this week, and either Saka or Martinelli. But the fact that I get to keep Bowen as well, it kind of was a no-brainer to kind of take out, someone who I wasn't really sure about. So if you haven't already, and if you've gotten to this point in the video and you haven't liked it, just take 2 seconds right now. Just give it a thumbs up. Let me know you like this video, subscribe. Let's grow this channel together. I spend time making these videos for you. It's stressful. I'm stressed. No, I'm not stressed really, but I make it for you guys. So I really appreciate all the love that you give me, all the views you give me. I really appreciate it. So I want to see how my team does. Let me know how your team does. Maybe write your team below. We can compare notes. Maybe give me some ideas for how my team is going to look like for like game week 14 or going forwards. But until that time, I will see you guys in the next one.